Coach Prime shares the spotlight. And I've seen pictures of him with his sons on the red carpets and in media row, but I also saw pictures with players like Jordan Seaton, Chidozie Nwankwo, Preston Hodge was there, Jimmy Horn Jr. and probably a couple of others were there on that red carpet. Coach Prime could have went by himself. He could have went just him and his boys, but I got where he also invited Travis, but of course Travis, declined it. But he bring all of these guys to share this spotlight with him. That shows kind of like his mindset and what he's doing to help these guys, whether it's NIL, just visibility, and so on. I think it helps out with recruiting in the long run. What do you feel about Coach Prime sharing the spotlight during Super Bowl week?
For whatever reason, everything that happens during the Coach Prime era gets a little pushback, and not a whole lot in this sense. But anybody that has a problem with those guys being out there, you don't understand the big picture. That is huge for Colorado and its exposure with recruiting, especially. NIL is something that is not going to just easily come at Colorado. Now, the 5430 Foundation is doing a fantastic job. Buffs for Life is another outlet to be able to donate to specific athletes and programs, and that's great. But we know that Colorado is not on level footing with a lot of programs that want to compete for a college football playoff berth going forward. The Florida States, the Texases of the world, Alabama, the list goes on. So to have opportunities that you can present to guys like this to make NIL money the way that it was designed to be made, by your name, image, and likeness, as opposed to here's a signing bonus. That's what collectives are right now. And because the NCAA has decided that they're not going to enforce anything, it's going to continue to be that way until some type of leadership steps up. And so if you're Colorado, if you're Coach Prime in this environment, having guys be able to go out to Vegas and get publicity and draw eyes onto Colorado, it's huge. It really is a big deal. It's even bigger than the Paris Fashion Week, because what you're doing is you're really hitting to the heart of these young people that are in high school right now that see these Colorado athletes on a big stage and say, I want to be that one day. I want to be under Coach Prime's wing and get this opportunity someday. So it was cool to see those guys out there. And I think that's if you have any issue with that, you don't understand why Colorado is going to be successful under Coach Prime. And it's things like this that attract talent to Boulder.
Exactly. And I think it also shows that it's not just his sons getting the spotlight. A lot of people say, oh, it's just his son and then Travis getting the spot. No, you seen big Jordan Seaton there. You seen the other guys that I named there looking just as good, and that's kind of showing like where you can see possibly the future after Shiloh and Shedeur is gone, that Coach Prime would still have his dogs around him that he treats just like his sons, in the years to come in Colorado. And this was off subject. I just thought about it because we said it on my live, but just imagine if somehow, some way, Shedeur and Shiloh get picked up by the Denver Broncos. Whew. That's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that later on. Maybe that's another.
That's what Bucks fans want, because that's an extra incentive for Coach Prime to stick around, right?
Oh, yeah. And I think he will anyway, but if they're right down the road, and oh, my gosh. Come on, dog. I know he'll love that. So